Due to a little technical hitch, we weren't able to send out the Pre-Shabbat message last week, thanks to those who got in touch expressing concern. Instead of telling you what was going to happen that weekend, I can actually tell you what did happen, and it was very special and very important. We had our Kabbalat Shabbat service, which was a lovely service. Then at Torah study on Saturday, we had 25 people. And we haven't had numbers like that at Torah study for 7 or 8 years, and that was very exciting. And then we had our conservative service, and we had over 30 people at that Shabbat morning service, which again was really exciting. Shabbat morning has not tended to be the service that most people attend at Temple Beth Shalom. It's tended to be, our community has tended to be more of a Friday evening service, a Kabbalat Shabbat service. But having so many people at a Shabbat Shacharit service, and particularly so many people helping to lead that service, was extremely powerful. And then something happened on Sunday which I want to share with you because it's so important and so exciting. I've brought to our religious school, with the help of Shelley, our religious school director, a program called Discoveries, which I helped to write. It's based on a program that I ran in my previous community, and this is the first time I've been able to run it here. And when we think of religious school, we tend to think of the Cheder model with a frontal teacher and a classroom of students who are of the same grade or similar grades, very close together, and they have information, they learn information, they do activities, fun activities with the teacher, and it's a particular traditional learning style. But in Judaism, we also have another learning style known as chavruta, which is pairs. And so people would traditionally study, they would pick a source material, they would pick a person who would become their chavruta, their study partner, and they would read the text out loud, and then they would talk about it and respond to each other. What we've done is we've introduced a program called Discoveries in our religious school that will happen once a month. And it's based on modules that I write on a wide variety of topics. The modules for last Sunday, the first one was called Burn Baby Burn. That was about the burning bush. And why did God appear in a bush? Why not anywhere else? And we look at traditional texts addressing that. What can we learn from God appearing in a thorn bush, as opposed to, for example, on the top of a mountain in a giant cloud and booming lightning and so on? The second module that we brought was the morning blessings, prayers for daily miracles, the Nisim B'chol Yom. And so that's looking at liturgy. It's looking at how that liturgy has transformed over the years, and what's the intention of that liturgy, and what do we consider to be miracles in our lives, and it even ends with the students writing a prayer of their own. Another biblical one that I brought was the daughters of Tzolofachad. And this is a really interesting story. They appear in Numbers 27 and Numbers 36. I had to just check that. And these are fascinating women, 5 sisters, whose father dies, has no sons, and they fight for their right for inheritance. This turned out to be the most popular book that the students chose, the most popular module. The second most popular module was this one, Science and Religion, Friends or Foes. And so that looks at does the Bible and do the rabbis understand the solar system as being geocentric, with the Earth in the middle and the sun going around it? Or do they understand it to be heliocentric, with the sun in the middle and the Earth going around it? And we actually look at a really fascinating passage from Talmud, Tractate Pesachim 94b, in which the rabbis ask the question, where does the sun go at night? Because they believe in a firmament, they seem to believe in a flat Earth. And they ask, where does the sun go at night? Does it go above the firmament to return the next day? Or does it go below the earth? And they actually ask a scientific, they explore it in a scientific way. It's fascinating. And so we introduce these 4 modules, and every time we meet and do engage in discoveries, the students have a choice of 4 modules. And there are others that have been written and many others that will be written. And the idea is that they pick a topic, they find other people who are the students of any age who are studying the same topic, and they sit and study with them out loud. Sometimes the students prefer to sit individually and just have private study. Sometimes it's in a chavruta with a pair, or sometimes it's in a group of 3, but deliberately not more than that, so that each student can contribute and add because in a larger group, sometimes individual voices get swallowed up. And this was an experiment. This was the first time that we did this, and it was an unbelievable success. Not only did we have success in our Kabbalat Shabbat and in creating some really powerful spiritual moments on Friday evening, not only did we have success in Torah study with having so many people come together and sit and study with us, not only did we have success with our conservative service, which continues to grow and bring in more and more people in a different way of prayer, but we also had success on the Sunday with these students grabbing these modules excitedly because they wanted to make sure that they got the module of their choice, sitting and studying together. And then at the end, I asked them if there were any topics that they might be interested in for future modules. And their suggestions were so numerous that they literally filled an entire whiteboard. And that's really important because it shows us something really essential, that our students are hungry for learning. Young Jewish people want to learn about Judaism. And I know that people very often get very skeptical, very concerned about the future, but I watch that. I watch these students hurriedly grab the topic, loudly, excitedly study it with each other, and then ask for more. And that is really important because Temple Beth Shalom has been educating young people for 70 years, over 70 years. We have been helping raise the next generation of Jews, and through a combination of two different educational models, the frontal model with a teacher and a classroom, and then this model also, which is more like Martin Buber's understanding of education, trying to help them bring out their truth and explore it, and then call on a teacher if need be. By combining these two models, we're creating an unbelievably powerful learning experience. So I share that not to look forward to something in particular, but just to show you how important Temple Beth Shalom is, how important our religious school is. I think there's a reason we have twice as many students this year as we had last year. People are coming back to Jewish learning. Young people are coming back to Jewish learning. Their families are coming back to Jewish learning. And as a community, we're coming back more and more to Jewish prayer, Jewish connection, and learning. It's a very exciting time. So I hope you'll join us this evening and tomorrow. This evening for our Kabbalat Shabbat service, tomorrow for Torah study and our Shabbat Shacharit. And I really hope to see you then. I wish you Shabbat Shalom.